Cultural identities as props, as backdrops. 10 years ago, on the 31st of October, 2010, AMC's The Walking Dead premiered on American television. An opening scene in the post-apocalyptic series saw the lost and confused Rick Grimm awaking from his coma. He tries to comprehend what has happened in and around the hospital. What followed was not the images of hordes of zombies. It was, instead, hundreds of memes mocking the phrase, "Don't dead, open inside." Thankfully, such typographic errors in props and backdrops rarely happen in English. When Hollywood uses non-English languages, however, they often suffer the Rick Grimm moment of confusion, along with cultural misrepresentations and fragmentations of the languages.
No.
With the rise of cyberpunk phenomenon in the 1980s, Hollywood has since taken an interest in envisioning and incorporating East Asian cultures and cityscapes into their cyberpunk mise-en-scène. Hong Kong and Japanese cultures, in particular, being a regular choice, as featured in Ridley Scott's cult classic, Blade Runner. Despite the film's well-praised and detailed production design, Chinese-speaking audiences notice the frequent fragmented language in the film's mise-en-scène. Case in point, when antagonist Roy Batty is physically introduced on screen at 26:39, Chinese-speaking audiences will raise their eyebrows at the Chinese characters that read, "To eat fish, no need to teach." East Asian studies scholars David S. Rowe, Betsy Huang, and Greta A identified this as techno-orientalism, a notion that imagines Asia and Asians in hypo or hypertechnological terms in literary, cinematic, and new media representations, mostly on behalf of Asia themselves. The obsession of techno-orientalizing East Asian cities has further resulted in Japan and Hong Kong following the footsteps of envisioning their very own future. Contrary to the misrepresentations by Hollywood, Hong Kong director Wong Kar-wai, 2046, deploys futuristic depiction of the city as a techno-orientalized backdrop and does not self-misrepresent. This is not to say Hollywood should not envision the Orient's future. Hong Kong welcomes lending its cityscape and signage to Hollywood. OG contextualizes the act of techno-orientalizing the former colonial city in a flawless manner. A language is not merely a prop. A city is not just a backdrop. Thus, Hollywood cinema must understand in-depth research about a city's historical context, the language it speaks, as well as the culture. This understanding is vital to prevent or minimize a Rick Grimm moment and to acknowledge that by continuing to misrepresent, the culture would only aid the process of Hong Kong's eroding cultural identity.